So welcome Linus to yet another episode of the Vārtalāap podcast. How are you, man?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. It's yes, odd occurrence.
Yeah.
I rarely
So
do these
tell
things.
me, how is Malaysia like treating you? How was your childhood
Malicious.
and all?
Come again?
How was your childhood and all experience up to till
Uh
now?
my childhood experience in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very pleasant actually. Like growing up here has been uh interesting. I I grew up in the outskirts of town when I was younger and basically just watched my parents grind their way through adulthood so that they could give me a fortunate life. Yeah, I'm lucky in that sense. I have people that care about me.
Yeah, I get you.
Hmm.
Cause mostly our parents grinded so that we can have a better life.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like some people, sorry, I feel like sometimes people don't take a step back to appreciate the things that they have in life. And
Yeah.
yeah, when that happens, they just sort of let their blessings fall apart.
I guess
I,
that's yeah, you go on.
no, that was pretty much it actually. Yeah.
Yeah, because basically, I think they don't appreciate it because they don't even know what it's like to have not have those things because they
Mm-hmm.
always have had them.
Mm,
So, like, basically, parents' job is ideally also to make them realize how far they have come and like what happens if we don't have that resources because you basically ground yourself if you understand both of the equations
yeah,
of having the things and not having them.
that's true. You only ever really like start to appreciate something when you lose it
Yeah,
for for the most part. And I find that when you're like grounded, like you said, when you're more grounded, present in your surrounding, you actually start to realize that you're very lucky to live the life you live. I mean, things
yeah,
can always get better, but things can always be worse as well. So,
yeah. And once you start, you always have to go up.
hmm,
Yeah. So like, how was your schooling? Because, like, I guess it's vastly different from which we have in India and which you might be having.
right. Maybe you could share our experiences in that sense. We're
Yeah,
speaking
I'll compare
like
them
yeah,
afterwards with you.
like what were we talking about here? Like primary, like secondary,
Hey, you can talk about anything. Like the from the
anything
starting.
from starting. Ooh. Primary school was really uh adventurous for me, I would say. I was a bit of a rebel. My my mom helped me a lot with school, and because of that, I became quite an arrogant little boy. Because I was always like a year or two ahead of the syllabus, and so I didn't really do homework or I didn't really like revise, and that just caused a lot of problems because then I spent a lot of my energy like running around school, just like playing tag and drawing and getting into trouble. But the teachers would have a lot of trouble dealing with me because while they wanted to reprimand me for not doing or doing the things that I was supposed to do or not supposed to do, I was also like acing my grades and they'd be like, "Ah, what do we do with this guy?" So I always felt like primary school just felt very fun. It was fun, light, it was easy. And honestly, it was only that case because my mom was there to like tutor me through like a lot of classes, subjects, I suppose. And
Yeah, I
in
guess
yeah,
you were the smart, mischievous guy.
right. Yeah, I suppose. I suppose, yes, I was. And it helped a lot because then I also got like a lot of free time on my hand to do what I wanted to do. Yeah. And I'm not sure about India, but at least in Malaysia, the school system is very focused towards the science stream. That means like we study a lot of like um, not psychology, biology, physics, chemistry, maths, a
You mean
lot of
focused by the schools, or like people just want to get in the science part? Like people are
maybe
more
it
interested, or both?
could be a bit of both, honestly. I feel like Asian
Okay.
parents, at least to my
Yeah,
understanding, are
it's
yeah,
Asian, I guess.
yeah,
Cause
it is.
in India also, people usually either want to do science,
Mm-hmm.
and in science it's mostly engineering.
Mm,
And
yeah,
if you
software.
and, and if you don't like maths, then you do like the doctor part.
Right, yeah. That's like the
And
root, right?
if you by mistake choose not any of those things, you
Mm-hmm.
are told to be like a gone case of sorts. But yeah, I mean, mostly it is a doctorate or like engineering.
Right. There's
But yeah,
always
there
like
are other
lawyer
things
as
too.
well.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, in the commerce part. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. We share
So I
that.
guess
Like,
it's an Asian thing.
yeah, it
Cause
is. I
of
would
the
say so.
job security they want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Likely because they grew up from a different time as well. Because their time was
True.
more about like survival and needing to find stability in your life, and to do that they needed to find a stable job that made them feel secure, that made them feel like uh financially stable. And whereas our generation, we sort of no, I wouldn't say suffer the after effects of it, but we definitely receive their feedback subconsciously. And so in a way
Yeah.
we are guided towards their beliefs. Like, oh, maybe like maybe their parents wanted them to be a lawyer when they were younger. And because they didn't end up a lawyer, they're like, oh, I have to pass this ambition on to my offspring instead. Like now you can be a lawyer because I am now financially stable enough to support you in that sense so that you can go out there and pursue this stable job.
Yeah,
Totally
that's
not shitting
that's the
against like
thing.
stable jobs,
Yeah.
by the way. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, that's the thing, I guess, because there are many parents who want to live their dreams to their kids. I mean, if they are not aligned with it, I don't know if it's beneficial to both of them or not.
hmm
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah. This
So,
reminds me of
like,
that gym.
go on.
There's always like a little bit of delay between us, right? I think the latency maybe.
Maybe, but like, I'll counter to that.
Right. I was gonna say like this reminds me of Jim Carrey, and he talks about his dad like wanting to be like a saxophone player,
Okay.
and he was torn between wanting to be one of the better saxophone players in town or finding stability for his family. And so he ended up in a dead end corporate job that he despised in pursuit of financial stability instead of pursuing his dream career. And he failed at it, which is why Jim Carrey was saying something like, oh, it's better to succeed at what you think you might fail at rather than wait no you could fail at something that you think is safe, so you might as well take a shot at something that might not succeed.
Yeah, that's true, but like most of the people, they just want to go for the security part.
That's true, that's true.
Because yeah, because in India, like specifically after the tech boom,
Mm-hmm.
uh there were only the tech job which were paying very much, very high. And after a while, if you wanted to do engineering also, and if you didn't got the CSC, computer science, and the information technology part, or the courses, you were made to do the less known ones, or like the apart from the tech jobs, like the mechanical or electrical. But again, due to the security, they were compelled to want the jobs for the tech jobs. Like, you're getting my point.
I actually, could you expand on that?
Yeah, cause after the tech boom,
Mm-hmm.
they just wanted the tech jobs. But if you are not getting the IT courses and the computer science courses, uh, because they were not getting it, they went for the other courses which were like computers,
Yep.
or electrical, or like any other mathematical of sorts.
Yep. Get
And
you. Yeah.
then they prepared for the courses, for the those tech jobs which they wanted to do, instead of studying their course and like succeeding at it, and then getting a job about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it has made a supply demand issue. And like, when you read the numbers about the unemployment, they are very high right now, because again, there is a mismatch between what people want to do and what actual jobs are there.
Mm.
So I guess, maybe it's the tech part maybe is a Indian thing, but I guess whole of the scenario is an Asian thing, because again, we just want security right now.
Right. Right. Mm.
Yeah, have you felt something like this?
In terms of like job security and
Yeah,
job security, mm, I think it's a very common occurrence in Southeast Asia for sure. I argue like the world as well. Everyone wants that like nice and comfy desk job where
yeah,
they do like the very bare minimum, but then get
yeah,
like
exactly.
the very highest pay so that they can do nothing and spend on everything. And
Yeah, basically.
yeah, I think it's human nature, part of it. It may not even be like a just an Asian thing. It definitely extends out to the human biology because we are wired that way in a way. We want our brain like actively craves security and comfort. Anything that's like bad, it would just go be like, oh no, let's not do that. That's way too risky. We could die. Maybe that's not. Let's do this
Yeah,
other thing instead and make us feel more like at home, more like a marshmallow. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
common, very valid.
yeah. I get this point, because right now I'm also looking for a job and like pursuing my dreams also. So it's a constant struggle to balance both of the things, what people want from you and what you actually want to do.
Yeah, I totally understand you. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
how old are you right now?
I am 27, man. And yourself?
Okay, cool. Yeah, 22.
Right. Well, I mean, like the fact that you're even like trying is really admirable. Some people they just never do anything, and then they look back and wonder where all their time went in the first place.
I
Mm.
mean, those people are like, I would say I'm jealous of them, because I I just am, because if I'm not doing the things which I wanna actually do, they will
Mm-hmm.
like uh, take me for the rest of my life, because like I physically cannot do not doing the things which I want to do.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. Dude, that's like a great mindset to have. Seriously.
Yeah, I just like this with this podcast also. I just started with the bare minimum, and
Mm-hmm.
like put on the building blocks, and like it is improving with time, and I am again playing for the long term, so it will go
Mm.
whatever I want.
Yeah.
because in the last episode I discussed with, like, if you have an idea and you pursue it long enough, you will achieve it finally.
Mm. I'm with you on
So
that. Yes.
yeah, it's just pursuing the part which I'm doing right now. So,
You're off to a great start too.
yeah, thanks.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I can only try and see how the world responds, and like steer my ship accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but tell me what are you doing job wise right now? I guess
Ooh.
design.
Right. Yes, I am. I am in the design industry. I'm working as a visual design team lead for a digital marketing agency, and
Okay.
we market fashion and cars. I specifically market for cars, Volkswagen and Audi for the moment, and mostly building like content and making things accessible and understandable to the audience so that their buying process is easy and
Hmm.
uh, quick. Yeah. Mm.
Nice, nice. So like how does your design process start? Because like I was seeing your Instagram, basically
Mm-hmm.
I scrolled all the posts. I guess it was around 300 or something. But
Uh-huh.
what I saw is that you don't have a fixed style. Like you can mold into many things and like perform in many aspects, because people when they are starting to find their style, one of one of them clicks and they just replicate that to rest of their lives.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, I didn't saw that with you, because like you had some, I guess, 10-ish posts about the frog theme, if you remember, I don't know.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like there were many which I can't even name, but like yeah, I guess I saw at least 30 to 40 different styles among them.
Mm-hmm.
So like how is your design process? I guess I can even present the screen once.
Ooh, go for it. Yeah.
It's visible, right?
Yes, this is me. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can start with the username. Like how did you choose it?
Right. Ooh. You know, I I treat I've been asked this like multiple times. I find like the easiest way for me to explain is that I treat my work like magic and I want the physique of a werewolf. So warlock, wolf. It's like slightly dark, which reflects a little bit of my art style. And
Warlock,
I
I guess they are the Draculas and Warlocks, I guess. Something
ooh,
in that.
that's an
Right?
interesting perspective. Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like
because I saw a series or something, they had Warlocks and witches and demons
Dota.
and like, yeah,
Hmm.
so
Yeah, yeah.
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 Mm,
Yeah, pretty much.
that
I suppose it
that
doesn't have to be that dark, but
I mean
it
it's up
has
to
an
you, so
edge.
you can do it
Mm.
whatever.
Yes, I
So
will.
like
Thank you. Mm,
these were also the ones which interested me, but I'll ask about it later. One sec.
mm,
Let me
sure.
find, like, because this is one of the styles, and like this these are the second style which I saw,
Mm-hmm.
and these are continuing right now and transitioning into something else, and like these are the drawing ones, because there were many of them, and
Mm,
like yeah, this is the frog one, and like one sec, these were the game drawing ones. I did like these what a fish people, I guess.
mm-hmm.
And then one sec, these are, yeah, these were the like icons of sorts, one-on-one designs, and yeah, Midnight Gospel. I wanted
Do
to
you watch
complete
it?
it, but yeah, parts.
Yeah, that was it's eye-opening to some extent.
And these are like sketches of sorts,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess you should correct it, the alignment part. But yeah, anyways, so like we can start with these sketches. Like, what were you thinking? What was your design and like style and whatever you want to talk about them, or maybe particular and specific.
Mm. I You know what? First off, thank you for taking the time to actually like scroll through my work. I Some of them, honestly, I haven't seen them in a long time because, like you mentioned, they are like 300 over posts now, and I sometimes I just feel like whenever I create something, I never really look back at it. I just sort of like, throw it out there and see what the world thinks. Sort of like your podcast, like when we were talking about them just now, like very
Yeah.
just just raw on its own. And yeah, there's a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm asking about the part of about the creativity aspect. Like, how did you,
Mhm.
if you remember, how did you think about it and like connect the elements and like, was there some kind of story which you wanna reflect or like just doodle it until an idea appears?
Right. You're asking about my drawing process, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay. So when I was younger, this ties back to the question about like primary school education, which you asked
Okay.
previously. So I used to
I mean,
be.
some of these characters are very well drawn.
Oh, you think? Thank you.
Yeah, cause I like this girl particularly. I think I can come up with a game design, like the game story part of sorts with with this,
Mm-hmm,
and it would be like very fun to do. Because like if you cannot make a game, you can make at least the graphics about it or the story or the write up. If you cannot
mm-hmm.
do that, you can do the next bare minimum to just put out the idea, and again, it would be fun to do it.
Yeah. I suppose that's what I was doing here, just like drawing what I wanted to draw and putting out in the world. But just like circling back to your question about how I came up with these sort of ideas. So
Yeah, sorry, I
I
disturbed you.
oh yeah,
That
no,
time.
dude, all good, man. I started off like just looking up all these like drawing challenges on Instagram. There's like a whole community of artists, and at the time it was COVID, and so very many artists were stuck at home, unable to, travel or do anything that they wanted to do. And they had this whole like monthly challenge to draw based on words on a screen. And in this case, I feel like if you scroll towards the right on the image, you'll see a list on the right. Oh no, the right. Yeah. And then again,
Okay,
there we go. Yeah. So this one I was actually following Pitch Kanker. He is quite a dark artist, I would say. Definitely check him out. I was
okay.
just trying my best to keep up with these list of words and just crossing them out because I was, you know, finding my way during COVID and just unsure about how to spend my time, locked at home and freelancing at the same time. But I found this and it gave me a sense of direction. So every day I would look at that word and think about it. Maybe like a day beforehand, I would look at the next word. So in this case, it was leather. Yeah, that just kept my brain spinning. So I would sleep on it, wake up, and look for inspiration, like Pinterest, maybe like multiple images of people or people wearing leather and what they look like. Maybe like in this case, it reminded me of night, and
Yeah,
I gave her like a leather skirt, so that just sort of made sense to me. And there is no like grand story to all of this. I just wanted to create a character and like a vibe, I suppose.
Yeah.
Very, yeah, it was fun. It was really fun, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
for the
guess.
nostalgia.
Yeah, it's like you get deserved it because it's very awesome from what I see. But like coming
Mm.
to the point, the process is very familiar to me because I have done it also. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I I wrote a book in 2021. Like it was basically a journal about a boy who like went to his life after his 19th birthday for an year. So like it was supposed to be a journal, and like I started journaling again in 2020 when COVID hit, and I always thought I was good in writing, and when I started to do it, I was actually good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the creativity part, I started writing small short stories, and the way I started and got ideas was that I just uh, thought of a element of my personal life and then just combined it with my wild imagination and just wrote it. So I guess basically it's similar to what you are doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
like there was an event with me. There was a pizza delivery guy. I asked him if he had oregano with him because usually they keep it on the lid of the pizza box, and he said everything is inside it. And the way my imagination like pushed it forward was that when I go to my room and like open it, it will have everything inside it, uh, because when I will open it, it will like trigger another Big Bang
Mm-hmm.
because again it has everything inside it.
Mm.
Yeah, Big Bang because the creation of universe and etc etc. So it was a process basically, keep making an idea and like pushing my creativity and imagination on it, and
Mm.
it's very familiar to like what you are doing.
Yeah, man. I hear you. I feel like for the most part, the creative process, even though you're heading in a certain direction, and this is the fun part, it's like even though you're heading somewhere, the direction can always change because there is no right answer. It's really just
Yeah,
like a flow state. You might draw something or you might write something that you feel like, oh, this is exactly where I want to take it. But then by the time you start writing, all these like new ideas start coming to you, or you start to get inspired by the pizza man and his pizza, and just things
yeah,
start to happen in your brain that you can't comprehend, and you just feel like, yeah, it just feels right to include a pizza in this scene. When you do that, it just changes like the trajectory of the overall setting, which is like
yeah.
the magical part. That's the fun part, I feel.
Yeah, actually, because like actually the imagination and the creativity part does feel like magic because like fundamentally it does come up from the outside into you.
Hmm.
That's why it feel magical and like it's specifically made for you.
Right. Yeah. I feel like I'm always like quoting Joe Rogan on this, but whenever he mentions like his podcast, people ask him how he does it, and he just says that he just sits there. That's all he does, and then
Yeah,
he's basically a medium for the universe. Everything that just comes into him, he's just verbalizing it so that people can understand him. But for the most part, he's just really an instrument, and I feel like that's how a lot of creatives would feel as well. You never really know what you're going to create next. You're just there. You set a time, you set a date, you sit down, you make sure you're present, and you leave yourself open-minded. Then you just things just happen, man. And maybe it sucks the first few times, but the more you improve on it, the more you do it, the better it becomes. It's really just a it's really just repetition in that sense.
yeah,
Practice
that's
makes progress.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do to make it in a flow state and so that it can be interactive and like value can be come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So like this owl, it was a hybrid of a favorite animal, right?
Right, yeah. An owl and a wolf. So it was a wolf owl. In
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons, there's something quite there's like a mythical creature that's quite popular. It's called an owl bear. So that was the inspiration for this piece, and I really like the idea of just, confusing two animals together. And
Yeah.
the owl bear became my inspiration for this. In this case, I just decided to change it to a wolf. So I really like wolves. I feel like they're very symbolic. They're very intelligent creatures. And again, I want the physique of a werewolf. So that's like, yeah, that's where my
Yeah.
thinking's at.
Yeah, I always thought of D&D as like a nerd thing because
Mm-hmm.
it was how it was shown in the Stranger Things, which I like saw. And when I saw the YouTube channel of Miscrafts, if you have heard, Miscast, if you have heard about him,
Mm-hmm.
he basically unlocked another level of creativity in me. The way he approaches these things, like the diorama which you have, the characters, the game building part, like it really intrigued me. And like it this game is actually an essence of creativity, I feel, because you
Mm-hmm.
can do anything in it.
Mm.
And if you have the right people, you can always multiply your creativity in a magnitudinal way.
Yeah, yeah. I missed the YouTube's name, by the way, but please share it with me afterwards. I'm
Yeah,
interested to know.
it's miscast. And like, yeah, I will share the link definitely. I guess we should talk
Miscast.
about this. I mean, it was inorganic, right?
Mm-hmm.
29th.
It was,
uh,
yeah, Midnight
yeah, so
Gospel.
so this series basically is a podcast which has a animation in it, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Ooh, my gosh, there's so much to unload, man. In Midnight Gospel, it's it really makes you think beyond the your own experiences, like what's
Yeah,
happening around the world, how everyone's sort of connected, and that we are all insignificant, but in a very beautiful way. We all matter, but we all don't matter at the same time. It's
yeah,
very,
exactly.
yeah, it's more philosophical than I thought it would be, because when I first like realized that Duncan Trussell was going to be on it, he's more of like a lol, like trolly at times and kind of funny,
Yeah,
but man, I just really enjoyed it so much. Possibly because that the animation style was inspired by the creative director for Adventure Time as well, which is why it
yeah,
resonated with me a lot. It's just such a treat, man. This animation is so good, so good. And there isn't exactly a story. You just sort of follow this guy who's like podcasting his way through these different episodes, and anything goes. But I find that what's really interesting within each episode is that whoever the guest is always has some unique insight to like pass on to Clancy, which is the character of
yeah.
Midnight Gospel. Yeah, yeah, very
Yeah,
very
I
interesting.
only watched two of the first episodes,
Mm-hmm,
but I couldn't watch it because it was some of a bit boring because it was loaded with creativity. I don't know. I am
mm-hmm.
planning to start it again, but yeah, the style and the way they approach the conversations and the animation part, it was really compelling to watch.
Yeah,
And like
it was.
how people can connect the dots if you are really listening about them.
Mm-hmm.
So, any of your favorites which you want to talk about in this?
I Man, that's like
Maybe
telling me
this
to
one.
pick. Haha. Ooh, this one has a pretty interesting history. I I was trying to start a business with these artworks. I was launching a shop, I remember, on Wix, and at the time I had just learned about drop shipping. So I was trying to start a shop on Equid, and I was thinking about what to sell, like what I could create to offer to the world. And I came up with the most original idea, which was to create an artwork and then put it on a t-shirt so that I could drop ship it around the world. Very authentic, I know, but it just made sense to me at the time, and I just thought like, oh, what made sense. And I looked around me, and I remember rewatching Avatar at the time. Not with the blue monkeys, but with Aang and his friends. So the in this case, the four elements inspired me a lot, and I did the whole thing, man. I had some shirts printed, I had stickers printed. Actually, I think I have it. Yeah, I have it here. Let's see. I have it stuck onto my iPad
Yeah,
cover because I
yeah,
used
it's
it.
cool, man.
Yeah, it's I mean, thank you. At right now it's more like nostalgia, but yes, it was quite a journey. It was fun. I had this idea of fusing mythical characters. In this case, it's a Cthulhu with their respective elements. So in this case, it's Cthulhu and water, the phoenix with fire, a sentinel with earth,
Okay,
and a dragon with wind.
okay. This is
Earth
a wind one,
sentinel.
right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, this is the wind dragon. And I was sharing like my whole oh, there you go. You can see in the background I'm like listening to Avatar lo-fi playlist.
Nice. So like I do have some like short stories of characters which I try to build, and like it would be cool if I can watch them through your lens, and if we can
Mm-hmm.
collaborate on something sometime.
Right, yeah, we could definitely talk about it.
Yeah, cause I saw like a silhouette of a person on Pinterest with a black hole in him,
Mm-hmm.
and instantly got an idea of a character. Then I wrote the character sketch, basically a short story of sorts. So
Right.
like if you would like how would you approach it? It would be very interesting for me visually, because like I do imagine them, and like again and the drawing part requires some hard work and talent, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't do that, so that it would be interesting to watch it visually.
Mm. I'm I'm I am open-minded to it, but I find that whenever I commit myself to these sort of obligations, it makes it a
Yeah.
lot less like fun because it's tied to expectations as well. Like somewhat becomes a job, and not that I'm not open to any like artistic jobs. I just, you
No,
know,
there. If
something I
we'll
feel
do
like,
it, there won't be
mhm,
any restrictions for me. It's totally your vision. Like I won't interfere in any of them.
right, okay,
Yeah,
all
I
right,
can support you so that it doesn't feel an obligation or work of sorts.
all
It
right,
can
I hear
simply be
you.
a creative collaboration.
Hmm.
Like we can
Well,
discuss it later. No,
for
no
sure.
issues.
I'd have an idea like of what you're talking about. This like One Piece character type with a black hole as the head, right?
Yeah,
Yes, I've seen that guy. Quite an iconic dude, actually.
I mean I just saw it randomly.
Hmm.
So yeah, tell me about this. What is it actually, and what it is written in bottom, because I don't speak anything apart from Hindi and English.
It says Zahaivu. It's Japanese for the hive, and
Okay,
I, hmm, it was an idea I came up with for an alien race that was really jacked and they all like were connected with one another. And this was like inspired from this Dota 2 character I really enjoyed playing at the time. It's called the Faceless Void. He doesn't have an eye, but he's just like this purple monstrosity and he has this move. He has this ulti where you could freeze time. It's called Chronosphere, and
Okay.
I wanted to create like a version of him, but just like like a crazy amounts. So over here you have like this whole army of faceless voids. I mean, like at least like inspired by faceless void, and they are basically an experiment. Uh, I didn't really craft the story out of it. I just had this like vision in my mind that I needed to like put on paper, not put on iPad, on screen, whatever. But I find that whenever I do have these like thoughts that come to me, I try not to overthink it. I just draw it out, and then I treat it like a playground. I just experiment with how I would want to express that feeling. In this case, I really just started sketching on paper at first. So you can see like some of my sketches there are like very organic, because that was drawn on paper. Then I took a picture of it with my phone before painting it, and then adding like some half tones and highlights to it.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I did like craft a little bit of a story there. Whoever says wake is beyond me, but it's supposed to be a super army of faceless voids.
They certainly are not faceless because they do have an eye.
Hmm.
Unless it's
Yeah.
it's a it's a sticker to fool people.
Yes. Yeah. No, no, you're right. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah.
And I think the collaboration part can also work vice versa. Like you give
Hmm.
me a character drawing, I'll make a story out of it, out of
You'll
the
make a story
pointers
out of
which
it.
you want. Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean it would be fun to see what we make out of it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, tell me this frog part. Like, were you obsessed? What was going on?
Yeah, I guess you could call that an obsession. Happened for a month. So there's this thing I found out through the art community a few years ago. In this case, like 2021. I feel like 2022
Yeah,
might have happened once as well, but it's this very popular trend that happens every year. It's called Inktober. And I really enjoy the energy behind it that people bring to Inktober, but sometimes the prompt list just like it's just not it, man. Like when I go through it, I just don't feel inspired, and I would rather draw things that make me feel excited or passionate about. And in 2021, it was frogs, and so I thought of every possible word I could come up with that would make a frog cool. So here we have a ninja frog,
yeah.
definitely
Like
inspired by
they
Naruto.
they were be very secretive because they wouldn't make any noise.
Mhm. A night
Musk
frog,
water. Yeah. M- Monk frog, I
monk
guess.
frog, a mafia
Spy
frog.
frog.
This one
Okay.
was actually
Yeah.
very popular. It's like the most popular frog if I remember correctly. Not sure if it was because of the caption or the concept.
The caption "End of the lily pad Winnie till death" and yeah, it can be of both. Like the
Maybe
design and the
I was inspired by Brave from this piece. That princess, what's his name? Merida. Do you watch Brave, the Disney
yeah,
movie?
I
Yeah.
have very much. Like I think creativity is the ultimate answer to all our problems. Honestly,
That's a very optimistic way to look at things. I'd say it's a
yeah,
little bit of everything.
yeah, it is. But I guess creativity is basically how well you can join two vastly uh, different ideas.
Mm-hmm. I get what
So
you mean. Yeah,
so
it's
like
very
problem solving is in basically creativity.
yes, I agree with that. Yeah. Also, creativity itself is it's very fluid. It's very versatile. It can fit in almost every scenario. Could think creatively, you could draw creatively, you could sing creatively.
Yeah,
Arguably, everything that
exactly.
you do on a daily basis, there is some level of creativity in it, whether it's like
Yeah, tell.
color or shape or fashion.
Yeah. One
Mm,
sec, I'll like charge my laptop. One sec.
yeah, all good.
So tell me about this one. Like, was it a robotic frog or
It is, yeah, it is a robotic frog. I like robots, I like frogs, and so here you go. I combined it. Uh,
okay? I
I
thought
actually,
it was an exoskeleton. Yeah, cause
yeah,
it
I could see it that
looked
way. I could see it.
somewhat like an Hulkbuster.
hmm Yeah, I believe I was inspired by it at the time. Hulk was so. Ooh, that was
See, I
sick
got
though.
you.
Nice. I remember making a print of this on a shirt. Let me see if I can dig it up. Might be on my site. Give me a sec.
Yeah, it's a lot of frogs, honestly. So these were all the part of the Inktober thing.
Yeah, it was. I called it Frogtober at the time. Here,
Okay.
I actually made like a shirt version of it. You want to check it out?
Is it in your on your website?
It is, yes. I labeled it like this project. I called it like Imagination Station, where I just like drew everything and then just slapped it on t-shirts and like postcards and like stamps. And if you scroll at the
So
bottom, I remember this frog print was one of the designs that I put on a t-shirt, and I named it Forg with a zero.
are you still talking about the website because like I cannot see it?
Oh, I was talking about the frog Gundam shirt thing. Oh, right. No, it's because I sent a link instead of sharing this my screen. I didn't want to
Okay,
override
link
your
on
access.
Instagram.
I linked it on the. Oh yeah, would that help?
Oh yeah, one sec. Yeah, I have the private. Yeah, one sec. Yeah, it's is it visible?
It is, yes. If you scroll all the way to the bottom left, slightly up a little bit up top. Oh no, not that one, not this one. Go
One sec.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Oh
you go.
yeah,
Yeah,
I see it.
yeah. I really like this frog design as well. So I just wondered like what it would look like on a shirt. So called it
Yeah,
Forg.
it's actually cool because the eyes are only green and it is black and white.
Hmm,
Yeah, it's aesthetic also.
Forg.
So these all are your designs, I guess,
These
right?
are all my designs, yeah. Inspired from, very many different things. Anime, animation, cartoons, comics, more anime.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I would like to like go through it because like I didn't see it in your bio.
Dude, all good. I just wanted to show that image of the
Yeah,
shirt
yeah,
with
no
the
issues.
frog on
Like,
it.
yeah, I will definitely link them in the description if anyone wants to check them out. But like, I wanna go through all of them with you. But like again, the time is limited, and we have sort of 10 minutes right now.
Hmm, dude, all good. Please guide me through.
So, okay, would you wanna tell me about this? Summer
This is
garden bar.
this is different. this is no longer like my art. I feel like this is the thing. Whenever I try to put myself out there, there's like a there's a distinct difference between what I do for a job and what I do as my hobby. So when I draw, that's more personal for me than it is anything else. And for my job,
Okay.
it's design. So it's a lot more like brand identity, logos, marketing. There's it's tactical. But when I draw, I really just want to express myself as freely as I can in different ways. And you mentioned that bit about how I'm experimenting with very many like styles and not really just sticking to one. That's very observant of you, honestly. People never I don't think anyone has ever brought that up before, but it's relevant because I'm doing it with intent. I'm experimenting because I realized that like with art, it's much more fun when you have that freedom to explore.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of artists, uh, not that it's a wrong approach or anything. I find that whenever they do find a style that resonates with the audience, they lean too much into it, and it
I
really
wouldn't.
like
Yeah,
traps their
I would call it a bit
creativity.
lazy and cheap of sorts,
I mean
because they just
that's
wanna monetize on one thing which they created at one point of time. Like as an
yeah.
artist, you wanna like improve and like do many things and express at another levels which you were not able to in the past. But like this, there is a new like part of art which I don't consider art, the in which the artist just throws the paint on the sheet or the canvas.
Okay, yeah, I
Yeah,
get you.
I don't consider it art, because if you do consider that art, then I am also a great artist, because I have done
Mm,
that in my when I was like 10 or 11 years old.
right. Okay, I get
So
you. It's
yeah, I don't know if you agree or not, but that's just cheap in terms of if you are an artist or not. That,
mm,
yeah, that's my personal opinion.
no, I mean, it's very bold of you to share that. I agree to some extent. I mean, especially with the part where some people like they find that thing that works for them, and then they just constantly recycle that to monetize it. It's very real because for some artists, it's their job, and so I understand. Like I only could understand that when I started monetizing my art as well. Because before that, I always thought like, oh, I'm just gonna create whatever it is I want. But when you step into the world of business and creating something that you want, you also have the responsibility of fulfilling the buyer's expectations. And if it's not something that they would want to buy from you, then you would also be limited in terms of like your resources to create something that yields no value. And so for
Ye-
them, they have to measure like very accurately what it is that the people want from them, how fast they can create it, and how much they can sell it for. So when you make something like art your business, it does take a little bit of the joy out of it, unless you get to a point where you're so good that you can truly create whatever it is that you want to create in whatever medium. I mean like music, I mean like artworks, drawings, paintings, anything really. I'm just like limited to my thoughts on like in terms of the art process right now, but it could really be anything. I just find that the thing that you pointed out about artists just splashing paint on a canvas, that one, dude, I totally get it. I did watch this other one that was quite silly. This guy is like running, and there was on the side of him there would be like this giant white canvas, and there was like a trampoline in the center of the stage. So every time he would run, jump on the trampoline and with a paintbrush, and then like draw a stroke across, and then just constantly repeat that over and over again. And by the end of that, that would be his art piece. And for me, that just does not make sense because there is no real intent behind it. It's just the
Yeah,
randomness of where the paintbrush lands when you're jumping on the trampoline. I feel like
yeah.
when you create,
The difference between creativity and randomness is that just it's a bit organized and with uh, an intent, I guess.
Mhm.
And if
Yeah,
it's just randomness, it's just randomness.
it is. Yeah,
Because
chaos.
if you wanna put out randomness, like universe is inclined uh to go into randomness because of like laws of thermodynamics and entropy. But
Hmm.
if you wanna do art, it should be a bit of chaos, order from chaos.
Mm, mm. I understand where
So
you're coming from.
what I think is that an artist should just think about how should he uh, excel in the thing he does, and like find more of the things which do work in the business world, but it shouldn't be his responsibility to like just stick to it in terms of making money and that. But because there was a line from Jordan Peterson once, because
Hmm.
the creativity cannot be monetized,
Mm,
it cannot be contained, it cannot be organized, and among other pointers. But i I believe that, and because like Van Gogh, the famous artist,
hmm.
he was like mad about his art. So what I like about him is that madness draws me to him and to his art and the stuff he does. Like I have seen this my attraction to madness in other forms of creativity too, like music and dance and etc. Because I don't know, it's like something inbuilt in me. Like I respect the the madness that I see, because maybe uh it's similar to the madness inside me. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud right now.
Hmm. Mm. It's very raw, like that the emotion that when you create using how you feel on the inside, it really affects the outcome of your artwork, your piece, or your dance routine, or the way you sing. People feel that,
Yeah,
and I'm playing devil's advocate here, but some people would argue that the order of chaos in that trampoline scene would be the trampoline. That's the order. And then he would walk back and jump on it again. And the chaos would be whatever color it is that he chooses to dip his paintbrush into and where he chooses to like paint on the canvas when he jumps over it. Or in the case where you were talking about how people like combine multiple paints together, I guess there is the thought process of choosing which paints he wants inside the bucket before spilling it. And also the way he spills it would have some, form of creativity. I don't know if it's like just like one big
yeah,
splash or
yeah,
like
yeah.
multiple
I, I,
splashes,
I
but
get, I
yeah.
get your part, but what I think is the trampoline part may be order, but he is using that order to create chaos. But it
Hmm.
should be other way around. You should create a much chaos inside you and then create an order, and with the help of creativity, you should put it out, and like it will be a masterpiece. Like if you have seen the movie Whiplash,
Hmm. Yeah, I have.
the drumming one, because in the last it's only the drumming part and the madness behind it which does like work and does feel like an piece of art.
Yes, it does. Yeah. There's passion behind it. You feel it.
Yeah,
Mm. In that sense, right? I'm just gonna expand on that a little bit. The whole artistic process is also, I feel like, guided by the design process as well. And it's not uncommon for people to to believe that the art and design process are one and the same. But because I practice art and I work in the design industry, I can wholeheartedly say that both of them can coexist with one another, but have no problem existing as its own subject on its own. And that's where like it gets very interesting because art on its own is like just pure expression, your how you feel about something and how you want to express it to the world. Whereas design itself has principles, it has rules that guide you into what makes it look good and how people would use it or read it or how they could potentially feel about it more than something else. But when you combine the both together, it just creates like something unique. It's very complementary. It's like bread and butter. They are both great on its own and can be used in very versatile ways. But when you add them both, it just makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
This was
Like we should wrap it up, but like if you can go through this, like what sort of idea went behind making this as a card of design?
ah dude, that's like such a yeah, this perfect timing actually. I was trying to fuse art and design here because for the most part
Okay.
where everything that was before these posts, arguably there was some level of design in it, but with this one I was a lot more intentful about it because you'll notice that all of them have the same templates. It's always the
Yeah.
purple and orange Game Boy console sort of look. And then in the center, the only thing that would change would be the artistic element. And every time it changed, it would be from a different character in a different anime. And so it sort of like ties all of it together like a series of sorts. And just makes
Yeah.
people like it, it's it helps people distinguish which what goes together and what doesn't. This whole thing is very like recognizable as a series on its own.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
I think if you just lay out some rules about these characters, you can make it in a card game of sorts.
It's funny you mentioned
Like,
that actually. I did create a pixel game. I coded one on Scratch and I uploaded it on YouTube just a few days ago with Saitama in the frame. That was yeah, that was funny.
mm,
Because
cool.
I always thought just like drawing my art and then just leaving it on there was the way to go. But I realized that there's actually a lot of potential in reusing your artwork for something else. It's like repurposing. Uh,
Yeah.
you can always use something else for something else.
So what was the like the reason behind it making it pixelated? Like, was it a design aspect?
It it was, yes, actually. That's such a good question. Yeah, it was. Good observation, Yash. Damn. I It started when I created this Volkswagen campaign to advertise for their after sales event. Like we had to like I had to find a way to create like pixel art for the campaign because that's what the client was leaning towards and what my company pitched. And because I was the lead designer at the time, I had to find a way to make it work like very quickly and very quickly. Yeah, and it worked. But I also got really drawn to pixel art ever since then because I had to drown myself, in a sense, with a bunch of Pinterest posts about pixelated characters or cars, and I just thought like, hey, you know what? I've never seen anyone create like anime characters in the form of pixel art before. Maybe I should try it. And so I thought of all the scenes that inspired me when I was a kid, and one of which was definitely this one over here, from One Piece, where Zoro like took in all of Luffy's pain. Spoilers, but yeah, I just wanted to recreate that scene, as best as I could in the form of pixel art, and man, it was so fun, so fun. Had a blast. Thanks for asking that, dude.
Yeah, is this the website you were talking about? The
It is,
game of
yeah.
thing?
Do you watch anime by any chance?
I have watched some and I have liked it, but I am not planning on watching it again because
Mm-hmm.
again it's a lot of investment.
It's a lot of coming in
Uh,
investment,
it,
like time.
yeah, yeah. Time and
Mm,
mind and like thought and if I end up liking one of them, like I mean, I just am inclined more towards the Marvel side
right. Get you.
because I guess the anime, the whole universe is very big.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if I have to finish them, also it would suck a lot of time.
The I feel like there might be a misunderstanding here. The anime and Marvel, Marvel's stories, they are all somewhat connected with each other. There is like a chronological order in which you should watch it. But for anime, all of them exist within their own time zone. So
Yeah, I
whenever you
understand.
right, okay,
I
okay.
the
My
the,
bad, my
the
bad. I made
thing
assumptions.
Yeah, no issues. The thing common between all of them is they are animes. So if
Mm-hmm,
like I watch one thing and ask another person like how is it, etc., they will recommend me another thing. So
mm-hmm.
like it's sort of a universe and which is
Right, it
very
is.
big if you compare Marvel and that. But like Marvel is like uh, a easy pie for me right now.
Come get easy what?
Easy pie, easy cake, easy
Oh yeah,
piece of
yeah.
cake. Yeah.
Right. Get you.
So, yeah, so that's why I don't wanna involve myself right now in anime. Maybe in the future, I have watched that Demon Slayer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's actually very good.
It is, yeah. It is very popular. Demon Slayers. Nice. Marvel. I would argue that the Marvel universe is actually pretty huge as well. I mean, just like the superhero genre. Like, I'm guessing you're like a little bit of a DC fan as well, or like possibly watch The Boys.
Yeah, I have watched them, but yeah, DC. I mean, the main DC is sort of declining right now, and yeah, Boys is awesome. The things they are doing,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's a conversation for another episode.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, so how was the interaction? Like, you wanna ask some questions to me, and then we can wrap it up because
Yeah,
again,
actually.
these are 1 hour episodes.
Mm-hmm. How is it so far? Like the podcasting journey. What have you learned? Because just now you're telling me like you've done like about what 21 of these so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that like, man? I think it's very inspirational that you take the time, or rather you choose to spend your time to pursue something that's creative, and in this case, a podcast is like it's very time consuming. I can imagine your schedule must be like pretty full at most times, and you have to interact with the person even before you have the call. You have to think about the questions, you have to write it down. You probably remember it subconsciously in your mind. You have to do a little bit of research. What's your design process?
I mean, it's a bit easy for me right now because up to the 20 episodes, I brought in my friends, which were from my college.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about the things they are mostly passionate about, and then I don't have to scare like script anything and don't have to think about the questions. We just talk, and we just talk like we are in a room at 3 a.m. Chilling.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped, and like after that, and they only came because I have told them years back like I will make a podcast and you will have to come.
It's like a demand. Or young
Yeah.
young you knew, man. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, because yeah, I wanna create this podcast thing since I started listening to Joe Rogan. a while back, around 6 to 7 years, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe 5 to 6 years. So I always wanted to make this, and like this year in April, I just thought of it and called my friend, and we just recorded. I just did the screen recording and didn't think of anything, and just put it with the title and the name. And again, I chose the name Vartalap because it's Hindi for conversations. So I just wanted to take that vibe and just make the value on the questions and the flow of conversation, because basically, again, I have told this many times, in India the podcast space is new relatively, and it is growing only because people have connections. They bring in like big guests, and they get views, and like they have a big production, so that they are the only two things.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to like do it my way, and like the flow thing and the conversation thing, I just want to think about that right now. And I have thought about like improving it many pointers, but right now, like I got a new webcam, mic, etc. Like it's a gradual process, because again, I'm in the long term in this.
Love that thinking. Yeah.
And I don't know how will I approach big guests. Maybe I'll ask to spend time and then approach them for this. uh, but right now, yeah, like we were in the thing together, and like we talked, and I told you and I asked you if you want to come, and like you agreed, so yeah, it's a win-win.
Hmm. I mean, the fact that you even like put yourself out there for rejection, I think puts you ahead of very many people already. You know, the fact that you were willing to ask even is like, such a
I mean,
such a perk.
it's maybe it can be, but for me it is not primarily, because first I wanted to do it, and second I just uh made up a goal of doing 21 episodes every Saturday. So it
Mm-hmm.
was like a must for me. So I just asked people and they came, and like it is happening till now.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the particular episode will maybe be dropping in November, and in September I am planning to like record all the episodes which will be required till December, all the Saturdays.
Nice. Nice, dude. Really good. Like, I wish you all the best. Maybe like a part two to this.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
watch each other's progress.
Yeah, I won't let you live if you don't do it.
Wow. This is how you got your friends, isn't it? I will make a
I mean, it's up to
podcast.
you.
You will come. If not, I will not make you live anymore.
I
That's
mean,
that.
it's up to you how you reciprocate on that. But yeah,
Mm-hmm. Get you. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me the will to live on my own. I appreciate it, Yash. Yeah, but yeah, we can definitely do like part two. I mean, hit me
yeah,
up, just same way as before. Be interesting to watch how you grow, man.
yeah.
Congrats on the new
Same.
webcam too. It's got to celebrate the
Yeah,
little things.
yeah. That's the thing. So I guess we
Cool.
can end it if you don't have any more questions, or we can do that also.
No, no, we good, man.
Yeah,
Can always ask like
cool.
after the recording. I'm easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll stop the recording now.
Yeah, go for it.
Three, two.